vision for a new era in Vietnam-Ireland friendship and cooperation. Later on, agricultural exports surge as year-end approaches. And in our world news, Israeli airstrike hits central Beirut.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Good afternoon. It is currently 3 p.m. local time and you're tuning into 30 minutes of VTV News. I'm Lilin Lei with the latest updates. Now, General Secretary of the Communist Party of Vietnam Central Committee and State President Tô Lâm and a high-ranking delegation of Vietnam visited Trinity College, Dublin in Ireland on Wednesday night local time. He delivered a key speech outlining a vision for a new era in Vietnam-Ireland friendship and cooperation, focusing on peace, collaboration, and development. More in the following.
The Vietnamese top leader expressed his admiration upon visiting one of the world's oldest and most prestigious universities, a place that has provided humanity with many great talents, including several presidents of Ireland and renowned literary figures. In his speech, he highlighted similarities in history and culture between the two countries, as well as their traditions of studiousness, hospitality, family values, and solidarity. Vietnam highly regards Ireland's outstanding socio-economic development achievements, viewing Ireland as a symbol of international solidarity and prestige.
For Vietnam, this is a period of significant strategic opportunity, a critical phase in nation-building for a new era. I call it the era of Vietnam's rise. For Ireland, this is a pivotal time to complete its National Development Framework 2040. To fully capitalize on these strategic opportunities, I emphasize the importance of actively shaping new spaces for development that benefit and bring prosperity to both nations. In the era of the fourth industrial revolution, and possibly the fifth in the future, development must be driven by innovative growth models. It must focus on science, technology, innovation, and a high-quality workforce as the foundation.
Concluding the speech, he expressed hope that Vietnam and Ireland would continue to stand shoulder to shoulder and work closely towards stronger ties in the future. This collaboration would serve the interests of both nations' people and contribute to a future of peace, stability, cooperation, and development in their respective regions and the world.
As of now, the disbursement rate of public investment in Ho Chi Minh City remains stagnant at nearly 20%, showing no signs of improvement. During the September regular meeting held earlier this week, the city's leader emphasized that every effort must be made to accelerate public investment disbursement.
By September 30th, Ho Chi Minh City had disbursed just over 20% of the more than $3.2 billion USD allocated for public investment in 2024. The Ho Chi Minh City Statistics Office noted that the sluggish disbursement has significantly impacted the construction sector and other industries.
Firstly, the city is currently finalizing the review to develop a new master plan aligned with its strategic development vision. As a result, ongoing projects must be reassessed to ensure they align with the forthcoming urban planning and development goals, causing some delays to accommodate this requirement.
Despite the low disbursement of public investment and only 1 quarter remaining for implementation, Ho Chi Minh City has no plans to revise its disbursement target. The city is prioritizing resolving obstacles to achieve at least 95% of the allocated capital plan.
The People's Committee will review the groupings and report to the monitoring teams established by the Standing Committee to ensure focused attention. This is a key task that the entire political system must prioritize until the end of the year to achieve the best outcomes.
Accelerating public investment disbursement over the remaining 3 months of the year is crucial for driving economic growth and attracting further investment.
If any challenges arise, report them to the chairman and vice chairman. If unresolved, escalate them to the Secretary. We must complete this task. Otherwise, it could have significant consequences.
Ho Chi Minh City's leaders have called for an acceleration of investment and construction progress on key transport projects, including belt roads and metro lines. Once the general plan is approved, implementation is coordinated effectively to maintain project timelines and meet public investment disbursement targets.
Dong Nai is on track to meet its foreign direct investment or FDI targets for the 2021 to 2025 period by the end of this year, according to the Dong Nai Industrial Zones Authority. The province has attracted over $4.8 billion in FDI from 2021 through the third quarter of 2023. Total investment is anticipated to reach between $5 and $6 billion by year's end. In the past 9 months alone, Dong Nai's industrial parks have welcomed more than 69 new FDI projects, with a combined registered capital of nearly $700 million. The swift disbursement of these funds is expediting project implementation, bringing significant benefits to both businesses and the local economy. Exports for the final quarter of this year are thriving, with the PMI data and new manufacturing orders reported as positive by the VN Direct Analysis Unit. Vietnam's agricultural sector is poised to achieve record-breaking export figures through proactive material sourcing, enhanced processing capabilities, and successful market penetration. Currently, domestic agricultural factories are ramping up procurement, processing, and export activities.
This factory processes approximately 500 tons of catfish daily. As the year draws to a close, operations are in high gear, with more than 5,000 workers needed to fulfill export orders.
For the New Year's holiday, we target the European and American markets. While the Lunar New Year brings increased consumption in China, demand for our products is rising sharply across European, Middle Eastern, ASEAN, and Chinese markets. Our factory has made significant investments in equipment and facilities to strengthen our export capabilities to the U.S. market.
Orders for products such as rice and fruits have surged 3- to 4-fold compared to earlier this year.
On average, we purchase about 2,000 tons of rice daily, primarily serving our traditional markets in Asia and Africa.
We've attracted many new clients, leading to a significant rise in orders. The quality of Vietnamese durians has improved remarkably, surpassing that of leading countries in the market.
Vietnam's agricultural products benefit from year-round availability and steadily improving quality. Investments in deep processing techniques, product diversification, and market expansion are set to propel this billion-dollar sector towards accelerated growth and explosive success in the coming months.
In September, Vietnam's fruit and vegetable export reached nearly $1.2 billion, a 72.5% increase compared to the same period last year. This achievement marks the first time the sector's monthly export turnover has exceeded $1 billion. As a result, the total export turnover for the first 9 months of the year now matches last year's figures. China remains the largest importer among Vietnam's top 10 produce export markets, with a 36% surge in turnover over the 9-month period. Other markets, including the United States, South Korea, and Thailand, also reported impressive growth, with increases ranging from 35% to 90%. To sustain this momentum, the fruit and vegetable industry will need to focus on improving quality and production to meet growing market demands. According to the 2021 to 2030 plan for the Vietnam-China land border, there will be 26 border gates by 2030, including 14 international ones. The Prime Minister has directed border provinces to coordinate with the Ministry of Finance to develop a master plan. In response, the General Department of Customs and localities are preparing to enhance clearance capacity, aiming to boost cross-border trade.
Although 6 non-state-funded projects have been invested in building technical infrastructure at the Hue Nhi International Border Gate, the export-import goods gathering points here are overloaded. This enterprise is undergoing digitization to participate in the implementation of a smart border gate and plans to expand the parking area five-fold.
We aim to elevate the Hanoi International Border Gate into one of the region's most modern logistics hubs. By applying digital technology, we will reduce costs for businesses and create the best possible conditions for import-export enterprises.
The Prime Minister has approved the proposal submitted by the Langsan People's Committee for a smart border gate. This will allow goods to move 24/7 and improve management.
Recently, infrastructure at the Vietnam-China border gates has been significantly upgraded, but still falls short of meeting the rapidly growing import-export demands. Local customs authorities are advising provincial governments on developing border gate systems to further enhance trade capacity.
Local customs authorities are required to coordinate with the management boards of border gate economic zones to ensure compliance with customs supervision conditions, including personnel arrangements, supervision locations, and equipment.
Provinces along the Vietnam-China border are quickly finalizing plans to develop border gate areas that will support trade, logistics, tourism, and services, aligning with the potential and growing trade demands between Vietnam and China.
The Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development is mobilizing resources to restore agricultural production in the wake of recent floods. They are developing plans for a flexible, safe, and effective recovery. The ministry is assessing local needs for seedlings, medicines, and chemicals, while also seeking support from benefactors for donations of seedlings, livestock, and fertilizers to help communities rebuild their livelihoods. Local authorities are urged to guide the implementation of disease safety measures. Before resuming livestock farming, thorough cleaning and disinfection must take place. Vaccination should be organized promptly with ongoing monitoring to identify any pathogens. Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh recently signed Official Dispatch 100, urging ministries and local authorities to swiftly implement measures to restore agricultural production affected by Typhoon Yagi. The natural disaster has cost the sector $1 billion in losses. In response, many localities have proactively prepared for the upcoming winter crops.
Village 8 in Tân Lĩnh Commune suffered significant damages after the typhoon. Local authorities have taken measures to support people with corn and vegetable seeds for their upcoming winter crops.
Natural disasters left behind a thick layer of alluvium. The water has receded and the weather is getting better. All is well for planting new crops.
Farmers in Lục Yên district also lost everything. Lamenting their rice fields flattened by mud, residents of Tông Rạng village tried to salvage what they could, hoping for a chance to recover, but their efforts ended in disappointment.
I encouraged villagers to start the winter crops. Fortunately, the district and commune authorities provided us with corn seeds, and people are now preparing to plant them.
Local authorities from the commune to district levels have mobilized forces to help residents clean and rehabilitate their fields. They have also provided financial assistance to households affected by the disaster. Local farmers have collectively chosen short-season crops to generate income.
The commune has mobilized workers and local forces to support farmers in recovery efforts. The commune has also distributed seeds to help people restore production as quickly as possible.
Natural disasters have not only taken away property, but also dashes hope for a bountiful harvest. However, with the determination of local authorities and the resilience of people, this crop will certainly bear fruit.
Before we move on, let's have a look at the exchange rate between the Vietnam dong and some world currencies in today's trading session. Coming up next on VTV News. Khánh Hoa's efforts to combat IUU fishing and enhance disasters response. Later on, Hanoi aims for UNESCO recognition as a global learning city. Now moving on to other news. On Thursday morning, the southwest region experienced heavy rain due to disturbances from high-altitude easterly winds. It is expected that by Thursday afternoon and night, the rain will spread to many areas in the south and southern Central Highlands. Rainfall is anticipated to range from 10 to 30 millimeters, with localized heavy downpours exceeding 70 millimeters. During thunderstorms, there is a risk of tornadoes, lightnings, and strong winds. Additionally, hillsides and small streams in the south and Central Highlands may be vulnerable to landslides and flash floods. In the south, heavy rain combined with flooding from the rising Mekong River poses a significant risk of flooding in low-lying areas, riverbanks, and regions outside the dikes. That is particularly concerning in An Giang, Đồng Tháp, Lang Van provinces and the lower reaches of the Mekong River. Residents in these areas are urged to remain vigilant and take necessary precautions. The People's Committee of Bắc Giang Province has declared a state of emergency due to landslides in parts of Lục Ngạn and Sơn Động districts. These landslides were triggered by Typhoon Yagi and subsequent prolonged heavy rainfall. In response, the Provincial People's Committee has called on relevant agencies, departments, and local authorities to implement urgent measures to address the crisis and mitigate damage. They have also emphasized the need to provide temporary housing for affected households and swiftly assess neighboring areas to proactively manage potential risks. In October, the European Commission, or EC, will conduct its 5th inspection in Vietnam regarding measures against illegal, unreported, and unregulated IUU fishing. Over the past 6 years, all 28 coastal provinces have implemented significant measures, and fishermen's awareness has improved remarkably. In Thanh Hoa Province, fishermen are using solidarity fishing groups to address both disaster risks and adhere to seafood harvesting regulations, all aimed at lifting the yellow card status.
Fishermen from the central coastal regions frequently dock at Hòn Dơ port in Nha Trang, Khánh Hòa. Border guards stationed at the fishing port are ready to assist whenever boats arrive. The vessel tracking device must be operational at all times as an essential safety precaution for fishing vessels.
Về cái giám sát hành trình là theo quy định là phải mở trên 24/4. Mục đích là gì? Để cho cơ quan quản lý nhà nước là nắm được cái hành trình của mình đi.
Captain Phạm Hải Nam consistently keeps the tracking device on throughout his fishing trips. This practice affirms that his vessel isn't infringing on prohibited areas.
I turn on the tracker so those on shore know where I am. If I turn it off for too long, they call me immediately.
Khánh Hòa has over 3,000 fishing vessels. Most offshore fishing in Khánh Hòa takes place in coordinated groups of 3 to 5 boats. These groups serve as the foundation for grassroots awareness raising and IUU prevention efforts.
We promote awareness through team leaders. They then disseminate the information to group members, ensuring compliance and increasing understanding.
Today, almost all fishermen understand that failing to comply with regulations and prolonging the IUU yellow card status could result in lower fish prices.
We need to lift the yellow card promptly so that businesses can export and purchase fish from fishermen. As it stands, exports are hindered, preventing purchases.
The central coastal regions face challenges in combating IUU fishing due to fleets operating across vast and varied marine territories for extended periods. In Thanh Hoa, over 120 vessels fall into this category. To address this, local authorities are working with coastal communities to provide timely support to fishermen during stormy seasons.
Vietnam's forest carbon absorption potential is estimated at 165.6 million tons per year, according to new data presented at a workshop on forest carbon. The event, organized by the Forestry Department in Hanoi on Thursday morning, focused on creating new financial resources for forest protection and development. The data reveals regional differences in carbon absorption capacity, with the Central Highlands leading at 46 million tons, followed by the South Central Coast at nearly 36.5 million tons. The Southeast and Central Highlands each contribute over 27 million tons, while the Northeast adds more than 12 million tons. The Southwest provides 6 to 7 million tons, and the Northwest contributes just over 1.3 million tons. It's important to note that these figures reflect improvements over time rather than forest quality. The workshop aims to accelerate policy development for managing forest carbon credit revenues, particularly to facilitate World Bank payments to localities. Hanoi's Department of Education and Training is working diligently to implement comprehensive educational initiatives for learners as the city is determined to achieve UNESCO recognition as a global learning city in the near future. More in the following story.
One student has a passion for the zither, while another is captivated by the moon lute. Their school has fostered an environment that allows them to excel academically while exploring their artistic talents. As a result, these two students proudly claimed the Gold Cup at the 11th Asia Arts Festival in Vietnam. Promoting holistic learning is a key criteria for a global learning city.
I'm really happy to be studying school subjects while pursuing my passion.
I feel more motivated, and this reinforces my belief in pursuing a professional art career. UNESCO's Global Learning City initiative also emphasizes the integration of modern learning technologies. Digital libraries and free online resources offer learners the flexibility to choose their study times and locations. It will help me learn better and more easily. Hanoi is striving to meet UNESCO's criteria for a global learning city. October 2nd marks the launch of a week dedicated to promoting lifelong learning, aimed at enhancing education in schools while also expanding learning opportunities for everyone.
We are collaborating with local authorities to support community libraries and cultural centers. Fostering self-directed learning and lifelong education is crucial, as it is a foundational criteria for UNESCO's recognition of Hanoi as a learning city.
I think Hanoi has all the attributes already to become a learning city. It's a city that prioritizes learning, lifelong learning, as demonstrated by the activity today. Forward to support the candidacy of Hanoi and to work with you closely in the months to come.
Even in their 70s, these elderly residents are committed to learning English. They study for joy, knowledge, and a happier life. This commitment reflects the core mission of a global learning city, to promote lifelong learning for all.
Coming up next in our world news, Israeli airstrike hits central BEIRUT. And later on, China files complaint against Canada at WTO. Now moving on to our world news, on Wednesday night, Israel launched an airstrike targeting the Hezbollah-affiliated Health Authority Center in the Al-Batroura area of central BEIRUT. The attack sparked a massive fire and caused significant damage to nearby houses and parked vehicles. Ambulances and civil defense teams rushed to the area for rescue operations. The Lebanese Ministry of Public Health reported that at least 5 people were killed and 11 others injured in the airstrike. In a related development, the Israeli military confirmed that 8 of its soldiers were killed in a ground attack aimed at Hezbollah targets in Lebanon. China on Wednesday announced that it had filed a complaint with the World Trade Organization WTO, requesting a ruling on the new tariffs imposed by Canada on Chinese electric vehicles and metal products. Beijing's move is seen as a response to Canada's decision to impose a 100% tariff on imported Chinese electric vehicles and a 25% tariff on imported Chinese steels and aluminum, set to take effect on October 22nd this year. China has accused Canada of unfairly imposing tariffs on Chinese goods. The country has filed a complaint against what it describes as Canada's unilateralism and trade protectionism practices at the WTO. It also has launched an anti-discrimination investigation into Canada's restrictive measures. Canada has not yet responded to China's action. In Jordan lies a city over 6,000 years old that was once buried by an earthquake and later excavated. This remarkable historical site, called Jerash, preserves many unique values from its golden past. Located about an hour's drive from Jordan's capital, Amman, Jerash flourished during the prosperous era of the Roman Empire. It is now considered one of the best preserved Roman ruins in the world. Join VTV reporters as we explore Jerash and uncover its fascinating features.
The remnants of the past have lain untouched for thousands of years. The distinctive Greco-Roman columns and the Cardo Maximus road that runs from north to south still bear the marks of a once vibrant city. It's as if time had merely paused yesterday.
Have a look in there, also you will find it. Yeah, so it's all because of the church 2,000 years ago.
Jerash was once one of the wealthiest and most developed cities within the famous Decapolis League during the Roman Empire. A devastating earthquake in the 6th century turned Jerash into a deserted land. However, the desert sands preserved the city from human destruction. Over 1,000 years later, when it was excavated, Jerash emerged as a world frozen in time.
So in here we are in the agora, or the market of the ancient site, and it has an octagon shape, so which means 8 shops around the area, and those 4 platforms with the deers and the lions in there. This one should be a lion, but it's broken, and it was used to cut it's a marble.
Though strongly influenced by Greek and Roman architecture, Jerash also subtly blends elements from both East and West, reflecting the reality of an ancient land that became a crossroads for multiple civilizations, including Greek, Roman, Byzantine, and Islamic cultures.
Up next, let's have a look at the weather forecast. And that is all that we have this hour on VTV News. To rewatch our program, you can visit our website, our YouTube channel, or download a mobile app, VTVgo, for more. Thank you for watching, and goodbye for now.